trouble for Noah Gragson doesn't seem to end. Quite the contrary. It has been amplified to the point of him losing his seat in Legacy Motor Club. While his actions were definitely one that were worth condemning, it goes to show that the reality of NASCAR is much harsher than you would think. But did he really deserve to be treated this way? His team boss has slammed him harshly for his actions, and in this video, we're going to analyze what led to this scenario where NASCAR pushed by the woke agenda as the fans claim, and how other politics involved in NASCAR did not get as much attention as this one. Ever since Noah Gragson's actions on Instagram were revealed, he found himself in a very difficult position. The world has been shocked by the police action against George Floyd and the merciless murder that happened by a police officer holding his knee on George Floyd until he had a hard time breathing from the actions of the officer and died a couple of hours later in the ambulance due to complications. This resulted in the massive protest group called Black Lives Matter, and the fact that there were rigorous memes for it just gone on to show that the internet does not care about anything. Still, professional athletes need to restrain themselves from being involved in any kind of these actions, and a simple like on a post is enough to ruin your career. That happened to Noah Gragson, who liked a meme about George Floyd being under the knee as a parody to Nemo's Under the Sea, something that was immediately screenshot and was put out there in the general media. Now, the actions were definitely worth condemning, and NASCAR did not waste a second in suspending the Legacy Motor Club driver. But this was not the end of the actions from the motorsport community. After the latest development of events, it seems like the owner of the team, Dale Earnhardt Jr., has lost faith that Gragson is a decent human being to drive in NASCAR, and they have reportedly agreed to break the partnership. But we'll get to that later, because from the moment that Gragson has been revealed for his obnoxious actions, he has been nothing but apologetic and said that he did not recognize the version of himself who went on to double tap the picture on Instagram, which broke loose on his career path. When talking about this matter, he went on to say, "I am disappointed in myself for my lack of attention and actions on social media. I understand the severity of this situation. I love and appreciate everyone. I try to treat everyone equally no matter who they are. I messed up, plain and simple." At the age of 25, he should know better. And being a professional athlete, you will always have an additional pressure to mess up things. Whether it would be being involved in a scandal like this or other ones, such as women accusing you of rape or sexual assaults, still, it was the Instagram post who put Gragson in this situation. And even though he is definitely regretting the split-second decision he made, it was not enough for NASCAR, as they came with an official announcement to suspend him from racing indefinitely. In the official post from LMC, they were more than clear that the actions of Gragson had no relation whatsoever with their beliefs, as they wrote, "We have made the decision to suspend Noah Gragson effective immediately regarding his actions that do not represent the values of our team. Josh Berry will drive the number 42 entry for this weekend's NASCAR Cup Series race at Michigan." Although the replacement has already been found, and it seems like with 3 races until playoff time, LMC won't be hurt as much as we are originally going to anticipate. This is going to put a heavy and greasy black spot on Gragson's career. Not only did he have to go through concussion-like injuries in the beginning of the season and what seemed to be a very roller coaster start on the campaign, Gragson is now under heavy scrutiny from the fans. But there are many out there who believe that politics should not be part of the sport and we should keep racing, and racing only. Yes, Gragson's actions were faulty, but there are many fans who believe that the woke agenda has forced the sport to ruin the young driver's career. At the end of the day, the meme had more than 40,000 likes, and if we are to judge Gragson out of all of those likes, who are people with their own personalities, then we might as well put athletes in a glass bell and prevent them from anything that is happening in the outside world. Should you laugh at what happened to George Floyd? Definitely not. It was the crime that turned the world upside down and made us realize that we don't know what we have until it's gone. But should a driver risk his career 3 years after the incident happened over a meme on Instagram? That is a reach that Gragson would have to deal with for the rest of his life, as it seems like Dale Earnhardt Jr. does not want to deal with Noah anymore. For the remainder of the 2023 season, Gragson's car will be replaced by Josh Berry in Michigan, but he won't be continuing for the rest of the calendar, as LMC has reportedly been looking to finalize a deal with Le Mans winner Mike Rockenfeller to drive the number 42 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 at the upcoming 2 road course races. Mike's exploits on road courses as well as NASCAR's Garage 56 program at Le Mans recently goes to show that this would be a match made in heaven. But one couldn't help but note the sour note on which Gragson is going to end his career prematurely and how he provided the perfect ground for yet another collaboration between Le Mans and NASCAR, as if both executive parties were waiting for an incident like this to happen. A similar thing happened to Jerry Vips in F2 last year, when he dropped the racial word while streaming on the popular platform Twitch, and every sponsor gave up on him, effectively ruining his chance to be a prospect in Red Bull or any other team out there. The society is a very cruel place to live if you are a high-performing athlete, and this is not something that the fans are having a good time with. Apart from the woke agenda, one that has apparently pushed NASCAR in the decision that the sport made, majority of the fans are supporting Gragson, and they are left bitter with the decision of LMC to keep him off the tracks for an indefinite amount of time. One fan wrote, "Apparently liking memes is off limits. Head up, brother. Snag you a W when you get back." Another fan blamed the team as he went on to say, "That team is going nowhere. Hopefully you get a better opportunity. At least you don't gotta drive that shit box this weekend." It is definitely more people who are supporting Gragson than ones who are feeling judgmental towards him. Mostly because at the end of the day, we are human beings, and if we are to lose our jobs just because of liking memes on Instagram, then I guess the whole world would be left without any jobs and would be condemned to death. This is definitely not the first time that politics has entered the world of NASCAR. And just for a comparison, we are going to talk about the banning of the Confederate flag in 2020, a decision with which many have not agreed, but have done under the pressure of Bubba Wallace, who was one of the most racially targeted drivers in the sport during his beginnings. Back in 2020, when the entire woke agenda started and the racism seemed to have arisen, a thing which we completely condemn and wish never happened upon humanity, Bubba Wallace was a target to racial slurs more often than not, and the presence of the Confederate flags on the circuits had a lot to do with this scenario. This is something that Steve Phelps, the president of NASCAR, decided to shut down, as the governing body of the sport went on to announce the presence of the Confederate flag at NASCAR events runs contrary to our commitment to providing a welcoming and inclusive environments for all fans, our competitors, and our industry. Bringing people together around the love for racing and the community that it creates is what makes our fans and sports special. The display of the Confederate flag will be prohibited from all NASCAR events and properties. This just goes to show that whether or not the decision was rightful, it's one that was brought under the influence of politics. And many fans believe that the place of the politics is not in the sport, but in the government. We fully stand with Wallace, and we fully condemn the actions of Gragson. But with the latter one showing regret for them, is it really worth for us to throw him and his entire career under the bus? Let us know in the comments below and share your thoughts on this entire matter.